Well, I'll tell you, the fake news was camping out at one of my many job sites today, and there's a burger palace across the street from one of my job sites, and they were just there for about 3 hours. Now, I don't want to suggest that they were stalking me because, as we all know, the fake news never intentionally causes any trouble for God-loving, Bible-loving, American patriot constitutionalists like myself and yours truly. And if you're watching this, I can only imagine that you love America and you love God and country. But the fake news was camped out in front of one of my job sites for 3 hours. For 3 hours. Now let me tell you about this job site. First of all, it's in one of those kind of podunk towns where people, it's kind of like Lake Havasu City, Arizona. People are bored on a Thursday night. Heck, even a Tuesday night. They'll just go out and get themselves a tattoo because they're bored. They know no other way to get a rise out of anything. So this is a remote. It's not super remote, but it's not. It's almost the worst of both worlds in that it's not. It's not. Well, I mean, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's like. It's just enough podunk that it's scary, but it's not remote enough that you get that kind of country vibe that it's safe. You know, it's not. There aren't any horses walking through town, okay? And the churches are also of the kind of satanic bureaucrat kind, like the Unitarian types, congregational. You know what I'm talking about? There are probably some decent churches around. I don't want to knock all the churches. I haven't been to all of them yet, but it's very much like the problem. It's like kind of like Florida, you know. It's like, where does Massachusetts send all the people who can't survive a Massachusetts winter? They go to Florida, right? And that's why, as some commentators like to point out again, it's that Florida man's getting himself in trouble again because the news always says a Florida man, recently axe murdered several. A Florida man. And this is one of those. I don't call it. I don't know. I'm going to choose my words carefully, but it's an interesting little. It's a lot of interesting, friendly folk here around this job site. And it's very far from Boston. It's very far from Boston. But a Boston fake news outlet happens to be camped outside this job site, and they stay there for not one, not two, but 3 hours. For approximately 3 hours, they're sitting out in front of Burger Palace, right across the street from my job site. Now, the fake news there's nothing going on here. There's nothing, absolutely nothing going on here. And for those of you who don't know, the fake news hates people who do stuff to make other people happy in America. So much so that the fake news, the communist unions who run the fake news, they've worked very hard with academia to create an environment where if you try to do the best darn job you can for your employer, you try to work hard, you believe in God, you live the family life, you live the life of fidelity, you promote biblical values, you live biblical values, you are faithful to one woman. They don't like that. It's a threat to their way of life. You know, same as it is, you'll notice homosexuality, they move to, people who watch a lot of fake news think, oh, these folks, they're just trying to live their lives, and it's no business of yours what goes on in their bedrooms. No. Homosexuality, where the homosexual activists aim to destroy true marriage between one man and one woman at every turn. They're looking to take it out of classrooms. They're looking to take God out of classrooms. They're looking to, because they're jealous, right? And a matter of fact, 10 minutes ago, they don't respect each other either. They throw, again, choosing my words carefully, whorish type of woman. What does she do? She cusses like a sailor. Why? Because they have no respect for anybody else or themselves. They call each other. They throw around the B word, the B for bitch word. Okay, they call each other bitches like the black man who has zero respect for himself throws around the you know what word, right? Like Jim in Huckleberry Finn. So these folks have no respect for themselves or anybody else, and it's evidenced in the way they talk to each other. And it's a sad and sorry way of life, but the fake news miseducates them. Well, this is how you get respect for yourself. You own that title. You take that title for yourself and you use it yourself, and you don't let anybody else use it. So it'd be like me saying, I don't know, I can't think of a cuss word for Christian. Them Bible thumpers. Well, I'm just a Bible thumper, and I'm here. This is the Bible thumper broadcast because we just like to thump our Bibles or something. I don't know. It's so backward and silly. I kind of like Bible. I don't know. I could get used to it. But anyway, but then again, I'm a former fake news anchor, so what do I know? But they do. The fake news, if you are trying to do the very best job you can for your employer, if you're trying to live the lifestyle conducive to that, you have a strong family life, if you have strong, good country people, good God-fearing, Bible-believing people in your life, they want to tear all of that apart. Why do they want to do it? They want to do it because they're jealous. They're jealous, and plus, in the case of the fake news, they want to get money out of you. And if you're going to church, if you have a contented family life, you have the kind of men and women that America's man's man has in my life, you have very little use for the gossip and the silliness that really robs your life of any value, because it just takes up all your time, namely television and the grandchildren of television, the likes of YouTube and all that trash that Google is promoting. Anytime you go to Google, people have a question, they type something in, oh, Google, how do I find out about this? Not realizing that it is manipulated. I got to watch the driving here because, again, this town, a lot of crazy drivers. People just kind of walk out in the middle. The only place worse than this I've driven is Lynn, Massachusetts. That's really bad. I once there was a gentleman stumbled out of a homosexual club and asked me to check to see if he had any bite marks. And that's a true story from Lynn, Massachusetts. Again, it used to be a really godly kind of French quarter of Massachusetts. But that was the only other place. Here, you come to this particular kind of I don't want to call it podunk because that's just mean, but you come here on the wrong day. People just jump in front of your car and say, pretty much dare you to run over them. And that Lynn is the only other place that I can remember like that. But anyway, the fake news, again, I don't want to suggest that they were stalking me, because they could have been at Burger Palace or Burger World for any reason across from my job site. And if I thought, well, gee, should I go up to them? Should I confront them directly? And then I thought, I don't know, if I do that, they're just going to say, no, I was just we were just enjoying a scrumptious Burger World burger for 3 hours. More likely they'd probably say, oh, well, we were in the middle of 2 assignments. We had to wait. We got to wait for this event at this next place, so we're just killing some time before we get there. But of course, that would, that's more than likely the pretense that I'd probably get. So I figured, well, it'd be useless to confront the fake news there. I do have the pictures. I'm not going to share them because I'm not for escalation. I'm not a bad guy. In fact, I don't want to be doing this. I don't like this America. I didn't ask to be America's man's man. Okay, I just am trying to live that pure, holy American life, and that's what I've been trying to do since the beginning. And the folks who aren't living that life, the rabid homosexuals and the communists, are trying to take down my beloved country. And of course, we can't have anything of that, because you give them a little bit these communists, and they take a mile. You give them an inch, they take a mile, right? You try to go to work, and you let that butch lesbian keep on blabbing about how she's going to get married to another, allegedly married to another. She's going to marry herself to another woman. Isn't that bright? But you let her go on like that, on and on and on. You're never going to hear the end of it, because that's what they do. They have this kind of sickness. Again, it's a fake news perpetuated sickness. It's a psychosis. It's gotten the best of culture now, unfortunately. Especially millennials. Millennials are dumb as flork, man. Millennials just don't get it. It's because they've been brought up with, basically, they think the internet is real life. They think TV is the window to the world. Hypodermic needle syndrome, man, or the hypodermic needle theory of media, in full force. And these fake news folks use that to their advantage, to extract a profit, to turn you and myself into commodities that they can buy and sell to advertisers. That's what the game is all about, folks. That's all it is. And at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of fake news people trying. And how do they do that? Well, they do that by throwing a monkey wrench in the halls of justice, by encouraging all of these radical, crazy activist judges, communist judges who have maintained a lifestyle of judicial activism, where they're legislating from the bench. All of them, they grew up on television. They grew up on fake news. If not from the radio and TV, from the papes. They grew up reading this hogwash rags like the New York Times. People say, oh, the papers used to be so truthful. No, they weren't. The history of fake news journalism is a sordid one. All the way back to Benjamin Franklin, all the way back to the yellow journalism that is called that overtly, and all journalism is really yellow journalism in a sense. The so-called fourth estate is what the media people call themselves. Meaning a fourth branch of government when nobody elected them, nobody appointed them. They're just show business vaudeville hacks. And these show business vaudeville hacks made, they tried very hard to ruin me. They said, well, if we got Silicon Valley in cohorts with us, and that's exactly what they did. They back in 2009 when I got fired from Brookstone, they said, this Peter Vidala fellow thinks he's going to live the holy life and be a productive member at Brookstone. Because remember, communists who run the fake news media, they want to take down our economy. That's why they love Barack Obama, because Barack Obama hates justice, hates everything about America. That's why the fake news loves him so much, because he is, he is the epitome of everything that is satanic and anti-American. Of course they love him. He's a fake news media champion, wants to take down America, and these fake newsers think they're going to do it again to me. They were outside my work site today. Okay, this is a Boston affiliate. I'm not going to name the affiliate. I'm not going to name the network, but this is a Boston television station. Okay, these fake newsers, they were out in front of my job site. They think they're going to do the same thing. We didn't know anything back in 2009 when I was unjustly fired from my job because a butch lesbian was fucking with, everything. And I'm sorry about the language there. I do apologize for the language to all you other holy people. I do. I have a bunch of audiences, and some of them say the F word all the time. So we're trying to find a sweet spot with that. But these this fake news. This fake news and this unholy alliance of fake news and Silicon Valley, we didn't know how bad it was at the time. We didn't know how bad Silicon Valley was, and so coincidentally, I took a lot of the comments that some of the butches and the sodomites made on the internet at face value, not realizing that there were, for every one person who wrote something negative about my firing for Brookstone, there were 20 other good Americans who were on the right side, who were on the side of America, on the side of God, and said, listen, we cannot allow sodomy to take over our workplaces. And that's what was happening in Brookstone, whether I realized it or not. I just wanted to go to my job. I wanted to do, and that's all I'm trying to do now, is to show up at my job site, to do a good job, do the very best job that I can everywhere, and get the heck out. But unfortunately, the fake news doesn't want that to happen. The fake news does not want America to come back. The fake news does not want America to be great again, because if America is great, then the fake news can't mess with your mind, because you're too happy doing what you love, what you care about. Your loved ones are too happy. You have too much time to spend loving on them. Mothers have too much time to spend with their children, because the government isn't sucking their taxes, sucking the heck out of their taxes and the family's taxes. So that's why the communist Democrats want all moms to be working all the time in somewhere in an environment where they can't see their kids, and the dads too. So that Planned Parenthood Planned Murderhood can destroy more children and can sell more abortions and inject more baby parts into vaccines. This is the sodomite way that the fake news is promoting. If you're a good and godly American, then the fake news hates your guts like they hate mine. Back in 2009, we didn't know how bad it was. I certainly didn't know, even though I had worked in it and continue to work in it to a degree. I didn't understand I didn't understand the nature of the fake news and how much just by its very nature, television. Rush Limbaugh didn't even understand. I don't still think he completely understands how much these people hate your guts, who work in the news media, who work in the Democratic Party. Because remember, if America is doing well, the fake news loses, because they can't mess with your mind, because you're too happy, you're too contented. They want you to inherit and share their misery. And America's man's man is not going to let that happen. Not going to. We didn't know how much they hated us when I got fired from Brookstone, but we know now. We know about the unholy alliance between the fake news and the communists, and how the communist fake news hates my guts and hates yours, and they're coming on the attack again. My gut says that because they were out in front of my work site for 3 hours, and they were like pointed directly at me from Burger World. They weren't off to the side. They stood there. They sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours watching my job site. And you know what? We godly Americans who love the Bible, who love this country, we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to let the communists commandeer our work, our jobs, our country, so that they can aggrandize themselves for the purpose of exploiting us for profit. This is America's man's man, and this is a warning to the fake news. This is a warning to you fake news people who are sitting out in front of my job site, okay? In some place that's so far away from Boston, you had no other reason to be there. This is your warning that if you it's not about my life. It's not about America's man's man, because my life doesn't amount to a hill of beans. You mess with me, though, you're messing with America. You're messing with the American way. You're messing with God's people. You're messing with God's exceptional nation. And God's people aren't going to take it. You may have been able to pull one over on me for once upon a time, and pressure Brookstone, along with all your federal bureaucrats, all your corrupt FBI agents, all your federal bureaucracy people, all your deep state losers who hate the Bible, who burn soldiers' Bibles like Barack Obama. You pulled one over on me back in 2009. You're not going to do it again. You want to pick a fight with America's man's man? You want to pick a fight with the good and godly people of America trying to live their faith at work? I'm not afraid to pray at work anymore. I'm not afraid to be a patriot. As much of a patriot, as much of a God-fearing Christian as I am when I'm at church as when I am outside. And no, it doesn't matter if the pastors are with me on this. I don't care, because I'm for God. God's the person who matters to me, and God and America. America is God's exceptional nation, and that's what I'm for. That's what I represent. That's why I'm here. And I'm going to do the best darn job that I can, okay? And that means no homosexuality, no abortions, okay? I stand against all these things. I stand against inbreeding, okay? I stand against interracial marriage. I stand against sodomy, okay? I stand against promiscuity. All these things that you uplift on television, your delusional fake news Hollywood world, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not allowing it in my life. I'm not allowing it in my workplace life. I'm not allowing it anywhere. And you folks want to try to make me the bad guy for helping other people to live holy, productive, fulfilling lives with their families? You're not taking that away from me, fake news, and you're not going to take it away from America anymore. You heard it from America's man's man. Back off, fake news. Back off, infotainment media. Go away. We don't want you. You're a bunch of liars. And you're going to get what's coming to you if you mess with America or America's man's man. America'sMansman.com.